and we can't say anything. Here's the worst part. You're going to love this one. He decided to dump his tanks on the street. So we came in the morning.
That's a biohazard then.
It smelled.
We know what it smelled like.
Yeah. Nothing like dead shit. Literally.
Yeah.
So what I did, and what he did, was he sent his son to Home Depot to buy 2 hoses. I sent my assistant at the time to the 99-cent store. I said, buy as much detergent, bleach, and pine salt that you can get. Mm-hmm. And we literally covered the whole thing with detergent, bleach, and pine salt. And we started hosing and scrubbing with brushes to wash that off. The stench was so bad. It was so bad that we had to shut down for the day.
Oh, I don't doubt it at all. And it's probably, a health hazard.
It's a health hazard for us. We're exposed to it. But you tell me how our mayor calls that a green zone and calls that fair.
Well, it's not even, because he's not affected. Because he lives up in Beverly Hills or something.
For sure, 100%.
In a $5 million home with a big old wall.
I guarantee you if that guy showed up to his house, he'd be gone in 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
But see, as long as it's always the people that aren't affected by the issues telling you that you're a bad person.
Absolutely.
Because you can't tolerate the issue. And it's like, same thing in Austin. What we were discussing earlier about Texas is becoming regressive. Austin just legalized that you could be sleeping anywhere at any time, and defecation is no longer a public nuisance. How can you pass that legislation that says that something that is most likely, because most of the people have mental illnesses, most of them have STIs, they're spreading an STI vagrantly around, nobody cares, or apparently the politicians don't care.
Why would they?
Well, it's like, and then you have to almost take this to them. And I'm like, why don't I get in a tent and sleep outside of, like you say, in the mayor's house? It's like, you can't move me, it's a green zone.
But I guarantee it's not a green zone.
I'd make it a green zone. But it's a problem. It's like, how is it not? Well, it's because it's not a main thoroughfare? What's the reasoning behind this and why?
Because I'll tell you the same reason why they decided that they wanted to open up and build these shelter homes, like in Koreatown and certain areas. The residents said no.
No, of course not.
Because and you know what? It didn't go through. And that's what these politicians don't understand. Instead of helping the problem, they're enabling the problem. Oh, you can live on the street. It's a green zone. Well, they keep it. Now, I'm sure you haven't heard about this.
What's up?
Garcetti's new proposal is that in LA, there should be showers and toilets on the sidewalks.
Oh, they said, yeah, we saw that in San Francisco when we went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do? You're going to have a homeless guy that's going to take over, like they do bus benches, make it his house, and then, or they're going to get in there and do drugs. Or what worse is pull a kid walking by and molest him or rape him.
Well, that's at the absolute, that's
going to happen.
It does.
It's going to happen.
It does happen.
If you don't think it's going to happen, you're living in la la land. So here's the thing.
Well, these people are mentally ill.
The politicians, but the problem is the politicians keep enabling the issue. Well, they need to put an end to it, and they don't. You know why they don't? Because they need the vote. They have, especially in this state, that you have people, like I told you.
Yeah.
My client, oh, I feel sorry for him. You what? Like, you live in an area where they don't even allow homeless people, but you feel sorry for them. Well, you know, open your house in and let them in your house then.
Of course, but that's exactly the issue. If you incentivize these people, you're going to get more. That's the overall issue, correct?
Correct.
Basically, they're being treated like children, and they don't have any kinds of rules placed upon them.
None.
You know, it's like, if you slept outside the mayor's house, why is it only in certain areas? Why is it in front of your business? Why is it that in downtown LA, these people can just become inhuman?
Correct.
Why is it that these things aren't being addressed? And like when we were in San Francisco, people didn't even notice the homeless. Like, I mean, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen about one human being looking at another human being like they weren't even there. Yeah. It was just like they were background.
Because they're used to it. And you know what? Not only are they used to it, but
they're taking a dump in front of them.
They accept it. they accept it. They're especially in San Francisco, they're a bunch of Yahoo idiots, anyways. Their thing is, oh well, they're homeless and they don't have anywhere to go to the bathroom, so it is what it is. That's
not an answer.
But that's their mindset. You got to remember that you're talking to people, leftists, like you said. They have no brains. Their brains are based on emotion
and not
logic.
Yes, that's correct.
That's the problem. And until you can convince them that
you can't.
That's a problem. Like I said, until you can convince them that logic is a way to fix this problem. Look, I guarantee you that if we voted, hey, listen, we have so many places in the desert. Let's build a camp.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Yeah.
Yeah, let's build a camp. We have water. We have anti-guns. We'll come in. We'll clean them. But we're pulling them out of the city, right? You're going to hear people, well, that's a prison. That's you see, that's a problem with people, is that people think that these people have feelings. And you know what?
Well, I'm sure they do to some extent. They're not completely inhuman disasters. They're just disasters. And it's, without a doubt, that's why I said the military style, like they had in Florida, it worked. They made them get up in the morning. They made them do
100%.
things. They made them
like
everything.
Like your prison almost.
But these people
there's rules and
happy
regulations
afterwards.
Yeah, because you know what? They're off drugs. They're actually getting a clean shower.
They had purpose given to them.
And they actually had pride.
Yes,
they had pride.
They had pride in themselves and they had purpose to follow through. They are no longer doing drugs.
Absolutely.
Most of these guys quit anything they were doing.
But the problem is, like I told you, these politicians, instead of helping the problem, they enable it. It's like this. It's like, I just heard about this. This is great. So they're trying to pass a law now that if I come and I killed your loved one, okay, I should be able to sit down with you face to face, say, hey, you know what, John, I'm sorry.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
John. I killed your loved one, and your job as
is to forgive them
and say, you know what, Carlos, I'm sorry. I understand you're in a rough place. Are you fucking kidding me?
See this.
You see, and the thing about it, like we keep going around to it's a.
This is exactly why you said a Republican is a Democrat that got raped.
Raped. Exactly.
That makes complete sense.
Because the anger settles in. That finally they say enough. And the problem is, like I said before, politicians keep enabling the behavior and trying to justify the behavior.
They don't want them to grow into adults.
No, none. They want you to be a robot. Vote for me.
Beyond that, they want you to be a slave.
Vote for me. That's all I care about. Vote for me. I'll see you in 2 years.
That's exactly it. That's exactly correct.
Vote for me. I'll see you in 2 years. And that's a problem. And what I don't understand, and I sit there and I talk to people constantly, like, and when I go one-on-one with them, I convince them, but they are so brainwashed from what they see on TV and what they see on the news.
Well, it's not even that.
It's horrible.
The thing is, you're having a conversation with someone that's emotional, and they're not logical. Like, I have tons of conversations with people about Trump. Like, I'm not super into the guy, but I can see at least the good things that he does.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I actually had a conversation with somebody today. I said, listen, he was not my choice. I don't vote anymore. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because my vote doesn't count in this state. It just doesn't count. They've already given my vote to whoever the front runner is going to be. Okay.
Well, if not, they'll just re-vote you in.
Right. Exactly. So I don't vote anymore.
Yeah.
And I said Trump was not my favorite choice. Okay, but you know what? He won.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this: I hate that he twitters constantly. He sounds like an idiot from the conversations you hear from him. I mean, at times he sounds like a complete moron. However, what I do like is what he's done for the country.
Well, that's why I said it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Correct. And I said, when's the last time you heard about ISIS?
Yeah.
ISIS who?
Exactly. Well,
the economy is doing better. And people, you see, the thing about it is, for Democrats and liberals and progressives, they cannot get over that their girl lost. Okay?
It's even more than that. See, there's countless polls. There's only about 8% of these lunatics in the country. There really is a very small margin of these lunatics. The thing is, they're very organized and they're very loud. The rest of these people, prime example, I was having a conversation with a climate moron. He didn't know anything.
Oh, God.
He had no knowledge on it, and he just straight up called me a denier. You know, I'm in a science. I'm in school for chemical engineering.
Okay.
So I care about facts.
Right.
It's only facts and data. I don't care about how you feel.
Right.
And I'm just telling him, you know, basic things. I'm just asking him questions because I know if I started laying facts on him, he'd be like, ah!
Yeah.
The guy next to me was just like, wow, there's somebody else out here that's not stupid. And he shook my hand and he walked off.
Right.
Yeah, it's like these people are everywhere. And this is the good thing. We need to understand that and support each other. There's not a lot of these lunatics.
Well, listen, I will tell you this, that most people that are conservative or have conservative views, Republican views, or normal logic are quiet right now. The day you're going to hear them is when they're behind that ballot,
November,
in that little box by themselves.
Well, see, that's the thing that the Dems are so afraid of, because Trump voters are not Republicans. They're not. That's the scary thing about it. But they know that he's a Republican, and when they go to that voting booth, they most likely didn't vote before. They're just going to check R.
Listen,
all the way down.
I'm going to tell you something. People vote with one thing: their wallet.
Yeah.
If the economy is doing great, if they have money, they're going to vote for it. I'm telling you that right now.
If they're using their brain, they're thinking about what they got.
Listen, most people work. I'm gonna say this statement, and I'm gonna stand by it. Most people work really hard for their money.
Yes.
And they're probably going to extremes. Some even have 2 jobs to make it. And then when they're kind of getting a little edge now, and they have a little funding, and they're making a little more money,
their life's getting slightly better.
They're gonna vote for the way things are going.
Yes, precisely.
If you look at our pattern of our presidents, there's only been 2 really that lost. One was Jimmy Carter, because he was horrible.
Well, he's a living joke.
Yeah, he was a disaster.
He would ask his daughter in like divine intervention and tell the country about it. Come on, you're a joke.
I mean, he was a complete idiot. He needed to go back to his peanut farm or whatever the hell he had. And the other one was,
you know about that.
Yeah. And the other one, I'm a big history buff.
Yeah.
Especially with politics. And then the other one was Bush Sr. His problem was,
a lot of problems.
Yeah, but the main 3 that killed him was read my lips, I will not raise taxes.
One world order.
Raise taxes. The other one was he had Saddam on the run, pulled back. And the third one was when they're having the debates and he's looking at his clock, his watch. Like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
That doomed him.
Well, that utterly destroyed him, because he had the issue of believing that he was above others. And I think this is the problem with a lot of politicians. Like, you'll look at all these guys that have been there for in excess of 10 years, they truly do believe that they are better than everyone else. And that
mean, listen, when you become the president of the United States, you're going to have an ego. I'm sorry.
You had an ego before that. You can't.
Yeah,
go
but
there.
that just,
I'm talking about
just
some,
added to the ego.
Some Joe Schmo lawyer turd that came out of an Ivy League school that he was, inadequate for, but his parents had money. They pushed him in there, and now he's a senator somewhere. You got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
nothing.
It just feeds the ego. But what I'm saying is, going back to what I was saying, our history shows that things have to be really bad for a president to be eliminated after the first term.
Yes, it's not going to happen.
Obama was so bad, so bad. Like realistically, if you look at Obama, like how did he even get voted? Okay, but he
got voted from identity politics.
He sold it well. No, he
Yeah.
sold it well. He was a great sales. The guy should be selling used cars right now. He's a great sales rep.
Well, his oration skills are divine.
Right.
Like, hands down.
So our history shows that they don't like change. Change. You like that? So Trump's going to go another 4 years. I'm telling you right now. And for people that don't understand this, and this is the part that's really interesting, when Democrat millionaires come out and say, if you make Elizabeth Warren your nominee, we are not donating money, and we're voting for Trump. You know why? Because it's funny. When finally somebody's getting close to touching your money, oh, no.
No, that does bring up. But see, when you're making $60,000 a year, it's not gonna pull you too much in any direction, and that's a lot of these liberals. A lot of the liberals, they're teachers, they're basic, government workers, and they don't have a concept of how someone on the outside actually works.
Listen, don't get me started with teachers, because teachers are horrible.
Well,
especially
I'm just saying,
teachers.
Oh,
oh my God.
Well, LA Unified School District has like 10% of the people or the kids that read at grade level. So I know it's absolute garbage. These people don't know what they're doing, but they're not allowed to do it either because the teachers union destroys the ability for the teachers to be teachers.
Well, listen, if we want to talk about LAUSD, then we might as well just jump in on it. First of all, unions were great back in their heyday when they actually helped the worker instead of helping
the government
or the employer. Okay, we knew there was abuse, kids were working. We understand, and listen, I'm a sole proprietor, and I hate unions. I think unions took a turn that now they hurt the employer and the company to make. You tell me how you're an employee not doing your job, and I can't fire you because you're part of the union.
Well, see, that's exactly the factor that I'm saying. Like in Chicago, if you don't have a union electrician on there, they'll shut down the job because no one can plug in any appliances.
Correct.
There's certain things where unions, again, like you said, in the trust-busting days, they had their time. People were getting taken advantage of. They had their time. Group bargaining is effective. I can understand that. The fact of the matter now is you have a damn cell phone. You can take a picture of something wrong, and you can prove it.
Right.
You don't need 10,000 people behind you while you're paying 20% of your paycheck in there so the unions can go vote for any given Democrat.
So let me give you an example. I don't know if you know this, but you hear teachers, we don't get paid enough. We got these classrooms, blah, blah. But, like I told the teacher, I go, so let me understand something. I said, so you don't get paid enough, right? You tell me who retires and gets 90% of their pay when they retire. So either you get it up front or you get it at the end. Now you want it up front and at the end. It doesn't work that way. I would love to get 90% of my income when I retire.
Yeah.
I'll be lucky if I get 35.
Well, and see, you have to plan your entire way because you're paying for yourself.
Correct.
Most of these people, see, the frontal cortex is not very active in them. They don't plan their future. They live paycheck to paycheck, and they realize if the status quo changes, they are doomed.
And another problem with that is that tenure.
Well, tenure's just like most government problems. You look at these things, you can't fire someone. I was really happy about the changes they made to the VA, because what most people don't understand is the VA is basically socialized medicine. And it sucks dick.
The one thing about the VA, I have a buddy of mine, he's actually a physical therapist at the VA. And what he told me, and I actually interviewed some people that actually help vets get off homelessness, and they get, God, what was their name? They were called, God damn it.
I'll try to remember. Chains or something like that. I don't know.
Yes, something like that. Anyways, great cause. Great people. We had a great interview. How can our soldiers that give up their life, their family, I mean, they're gone, they give everything they can, come out to what the VA gives them? Are you kidding me?
It's even more than that. Look at this. You're a teacher for 40 years, right? You retire with 100% of your paycheck. A veteran gets his legs blown off. He gets 100% disability, right?
No.
No, I'm just saying. That's basically what will occur. He'll get approximately 100%. 90%.
You hope.
Yes. He makes less than $3,000 a month. That teacher, who we know didn't do the job of a soldier, we know that 100% of them,
right,
is getting paid $7,000 to $9,000 a month forever.
Right.
I think that is an abomination of just justice.
Not only that,
and these
think
people
about it.
Speak of nothing but justice.
They're not getting, not only their pay, they got full medical, full dental.
And it's not socialized.
No.
Garbage.
No.
They go to Kaiser, they go to whatever their choice is.
The best of the best. Yeah. You know, and that's the problem. And here's another thing that people don't remember. Arnold, when he was governor, he came out and he said, you know what? Teachers should get paid on their work.
Performance.
Their performance.
Yeah.
And what happened? The union went against
them.
They
destroyed
them. Oh, yeah.
They destroyed them.
And that's what people say, oh, Arnold was useless. I go, no. If you look at everything Arnold tried to do,
it was good.
It was good. It just got blocked. It didn't matter what he tried to do. It got blocked because it was a Republican.
The only reason the Orange Man is doing so well is because he is flagrantly disobeying the normality that we're so used to. He'll come out there and he will blow up everything in order to get his things accomplished. That's the only reason why he's able to do it at all. Like Arnold tried it. I'm sure lots of people have tried it, but they've been blocked systematically by all these protests, all the unions. And the teachers' union is the most powerful tool of the Democrat Party. Why? Because they indoctrinate your kids.
Well, not only that, not only do they indoctrinate your kids, but they feed into all of education, whether it's moving up the ladder up to college. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. You ever listen to Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear his podcast with Bernie Sanders?
Oh, that was terrible.
Okay. So, anyways, this is why I'm mentioning this. So there's a scene, a part where Bernie Sanders is saying, kids go to school and graduate with like a $50,000-$60,000 debt.
Yeah.
And doctors that graduate end up with a $300,000 debt.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to pass this tax called the Wall Street
whatever, sure.
Something tax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wants to tax capital gains to like 70%.
Right.
Yeah.
Wall Street, right? Yeah. So he's like, it's like 1% of blah blah blah. He gives the math.
It's always just 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, Bernie wants to tax everybody who has their 401ks, their long-term investments. He wants to tax you on your future,
You're
right?
already getting 50% tax from your 401k.
But my question is, okay, if you have a problem with a kid graduating with $50,000 or $60,000 in educational debt, then stop paying these college professors that are never there, that are there maybe twice a week, right? Oh, email me a question, and they're getting like $250K a year.
They get paid way too much.
Way too much. So why don't you lower the education? Lower the tuition. You know what? Instead of graduating at $50K, they graduate at $10K. But I think they'll be able to afford it.
It's even beyond that. Like everybody says, oh, the student loans, this. It was your choice.
You know what the problem is? I'll tell you what the problem is. Here's what the problem is. I took a student loan, and I paid it back.
Yeah.
Zero. I graduated. I had 6 months. It kicked in. I was able to refi. I got it. I got it at a fixed rate. Yeah, I got a fixed rate. My interest rate was 3%. I paid it off in 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? Automatically deducted. The problem you have is that all these kids come in, get financial aid.
Yeah.
Right? Get their classes paid, room, board, and then get an access check. Right? Just like, oh, I remember my friend. Oh, I'm going to go get rooms for my car. How you getting? Oh, financial aid. Well, what do you mean? So here's the thing. You're talking about auditing.
Yeah.
Why is it we just say, hey, here's your money for your books. Here's your money for your tuition. Here's some money for some board.
It's like,
good luck.
It's even beyond that. If you take out the loan, it is your responsibility to pay it back. Just like for your house. Just like for anything else. The problem is, when you take it from the government, it's a faceless entity. Like, if I was to give you $20, you'd feel bad if you didn't pay me back. You look me in the eye. It's a person-to-person thing. Most people can't just forget about giving the person $20 back.
True.
And with the government, they don't care.
No, they don't.
They don't know where it's coming from. They don't care. They don't even think about it.
I'll tell you another problem. Like, we were talking about Elizabeth Warren, how Democrats are like, we don't want her as a front runner.
Of course not.
Because she wants to tax them. I think, what is it? $1, what is it? I'm going to get this wrong. I think it's 50 cents on the dollar of what they have to pay for free education, free college education. It's not gonna work. Free does not work. You have to earn your keep.
Well, because otherwise you don't excel.
You don't.
And that's the problem. Everybody deserves a world-class education. Why? We still need plumbers. We need electricians. We need people that actually get things done. We don't need a bunch of gender studies majors.
And I'll tell you this much. When I went to high school, you had chop shop.
Yeah.
You had woodwork. You had electrician or electricity. You had plaster.
Yeah, you had
welding.
You had basic trades.
You can learn something.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny how they started getting rid of that.
And they put garbage in there.
And the arts matter. People don't care about the arts unless if you're a musician. You will learn your craft. Most kids don't care.
Hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hobby.
And what they did is they've been getting rid of the craft that we need. We need welders. We need plumbers. We need carpenters.
It's even beyond that. There's a dramatic shortage in all those fields, And the whole reason is because all these kids are told their entire life, you need to go to college if you want to be successful. That's an absolute lie.
Yes, college is not for everybody.
You need to go to college if you want to be a genuine professional in a field. Everything else is not mandatory.
And I'll tell you another problem with that. I was actually talking to somebody today, and she's like, it's really hard for me to find work.
Yeah.
I graduated, right? She's like, I do some bookkeeping, and then I also do, I'm a waitress at a restaurant.
Yeah, but what did she graduate with? That's the issue.
That's what I'm going with, right? So I'm thinking, okay, you know, so I go, what did you get your degree in? Communications. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's like unless you work in a news station or something bogus like that, most of the time they don't care
But
about
I guarantee you the college is like, communication, sucker. Socialist, sucker. You know, all those, philosophy, sucker. You know, because you're not going to get a job. And here's...
There's no reasoning because it's not difficult.
And here's where the misconception is. You have to tell these kids, listen, if you go to college, you will probably get paid better. If you're an attorney, if you're an engineer, if you're health-based.
It's beyond that. These kids don't look into what they want to do in the future. Like, I picked chemical engineering so I can go for my PA. Do I want to do chemical engineering or be a PA? No, I don't. Why do I do it? Because it'll put food on the table.
But let me ask you a question. There has to be some interest there. You have to
it's
like
I'm
it.
Good at it. I want to be a conservative pundit. I want to be a congressman. The thing is, I need to have something if it doesn't happen. And it's like one of my heroes is, Michael Jordan. He said if basketball didn't turn out, he had his own plans. He had a fallback that was concrete. These people don't.
And here's the thing is, a lot of problems where the millennials kick in here is that they've been brought up with it's okay.
To fail.
It's okay, because, no, you don't fail. That's the problem. Think about it. You have a team. Everybody gets a trophy. Participant.
Okay, that's where you did it,
Participant. They don't know, hey, you know what? You know why John got MVP? Because he busted his ass. Maybe you should bust your ass next year when you're on the team, and you'll give the MVP. But what they do is, no, we can't. John can't be the MVP. We're all participants.
Yeah, they wrap that into the bullying or hazing nonsense.
And here's the problem. Isn't it interesting that at Super Bowl, that happens once a year, you have an MVP and you have a winner. And you have a loser. And next year, it starts all over again. That's the problem. The problem is that they're setting up these kids for failure.
Well, they're not inspiring a competitive spirit.
No.
And if you don't inspire someone to be competitive, there is to compete to be the best. If you have 100 people, someone's going to be the loser. But the thing is, if everybody's running as hard as they can, everybody's going to be pretty damn good.
And I guarantee you that unfortunately, if you get 100 people to run, one's always going to be faster.
Of course.
It's just, and that's the misconception that teachers, parents, some coaches give you. They've built this society now that these kids don't know what failure is. Failure makes you stronger, not weaker. It makes you stronger. Listen, if you were homeless, you would find a way to bust your ass, find a job, to get out of homelessness, because that's just in your character.
Well, that's the reason. Like I enlisted in the military because I was going to computer college part time, working part time. It was right at 2008, and jobs became damn near impossible to find, especially for a kid.
Yeah,
I was like 18 years old.
Yeah, it was a
so
failure.
It's like I didn't have anything real skills based up. So I'm like I lived in a backyard in a room. So it's like you have to do what you have to do. That's not unnatural. You do what you need to do what you can.
And you succeeded.
Well, I didn't want to get a bunch of loans from college, so I went in the military.
Exactly, but you found a way to move.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You see, the problem is that, how old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, so you're an exception to the rule. I'm 45.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids that I know, they're like, oh, well, I just live at home, and I'll figure it out, or I'll get a job, or you know what, I was
it's nihilism.
Yeah, you'll get a kick out of this. I was at every Wednesday I go to this big old shop. I've said this before. Go get breakfast with my boys.
All right.
Standing in line, and there's a guy who has Parkinson's, handshaking.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the guy. I feel sorry for him, but you know what? He's taking too long. Because in the real world, I have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
And as a business, he's actually being counterproductive. He's not being productive. Put him to wipe down the tables. Don't put him where he's sitting there having a hard time. Your business is getting hurt.
It's even beyond that. He's going to understand that he's screwing up and he's making other people wait.
Right.
If he's conscientious at all.
So, yeah. So, here's where the story goes. So, I'm standing in line. And I'm like, oh, great. So, the guy next to me goes, yeah, I told my wife I'm going to be here at least 30 minutes. And then we get onto the conversation. And he goes, he's like, what do you do on my own business? So, we're just chit-chatting because we're in line for 30 minutes, right?
You get nothing better.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're talking. And he goes to me, he goes, I have this guy, this kid. He walked up to me and goes, I want to know how you're going to, praise me.
What?
And he goes, what do you mean praise you? And he goes, yeah. He goes, oh, by the way, I don't want any more money. I'm happy with what you pay me. But I want you to tell me that I'm doing a good job. I want you to tell me, keep up the good work. So they want constant, positive reinforcement. And what I told him was, you know what you should tell him? Your paycheck reflects your positive reinforcement. You do the job, you get paid more. But that's the problem in the society that we have, is that everybody's a winner. You did a good job. If there's no, hey, you know what, it's not, hey, John, you know what? You fucked up. You did that wrong. You got to do it again. You know what, John? You're not doing, go home. You're suspended for the day. You're going to go home and say, fuck, I fucked up.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I got to come in tomorrow and I got to get my shit done.
Well, see, everything is so liberalistic. And that's one of those things, when I was in the military, that's the primary reason I got out. It was becoming extremely PC. Whereas everything...
It's PC everywhere.
Well, I know, but the military, you cannot run a military with PC. It just does not work. You need to be able to tell someone to shut the fuck up, get things in order, otherwise people are going to die, and they can't do that anymore.
But that's the problem, is that we're evolving into feelings. You see?
That's
feeling.
Fuck your
the
feelings.
Military doesn't have feelings.
And it's not supposed to.
Yo, exactly. You do the job, you're done. How many movies have we seen? Yes, sir, no, sir.
Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Right? The one that didn't do the problem either ends up in the barracks or ends up in...
everybody beats the crap out of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Shut the fuck up, do your job. You know? And that's a problem now because we have feelings.
That's fine.
Feelings matter.
But you don't bring your... It's like... Again, that's the thing I see about politics. They bring themselves to work. You're not supposed to.
No.
You go to work, you do your job, you do it to the best of the expectations provided to you, or written as such, and you go home, and then you're with your family, you're with your friends, but they're separated. They're entirely separate.
You know, it's funny you say that. I'm going to use this example before we have to cut it out. I used to have an employee, okay? And he came in